today we have very few people doing most of the quote unquote ministry, while so many of the people sit in rows facing forward, largely passive, and that's kind of our model. How did that change and when did it change? When did we become so reliant on just a few people to do most of the work?
That development actually starts happening uh, way too quickly. Even by Ignatius at the beginning of the second century, he's starting to emphasize the supremacy
Mm,
of the bishop,
mm,
and he says you cannot have the Holy Eucharist unless the bishop is there. And oh my, uh, so things had become sacralized so much that things are stifled. The one anothering is stifled, and only the bishop can do these things. And I'm not trying to make people hate their pastor or anything, because I was one of those guys. And I don't they're, the don't hate your pastor. They're doing the best job they can with what they understand they're supposed to be doing. So stop that. But back then, yes, it was a problem with the clergy um, taking greater prominence, taking a higher social role as well in the community, and dominating what's taking place in the assembly, and limiting other people's ability to do anything. And they would even have deacons who would rap people on the head if they're getting out of line. But really, the core problem here is what I call sacralizing. And religious people do this. They can turn a plain rock into a sacred stone very quickly and start to revere the thing. And we do that with our assemblies as well, with our church buildings, with the pews, and with the sanctuary, and with the pulpit, and especially the communion table. All these things become sacred. All these conventions are not biblical conventions. In order to think biblically, you have to put yourself into the a venue of a home, sitting around couches in someone's living room, not staring at the back of somebody's head in a pew, but looking one another in the eyes, across seats where you're comfortably seated, and speaking to one another. That phrase, one another, becomes important in the New Testament, and it's mentioned over 100 times, of speaking to one another, teaching one another, encouraging one another, praying for one another. The one anothering opportunities have left our buildings. Like Elvis, he's left the building, and it's all gone. The one anothering is gone, and we've got somebody taking care of it all for us, and you can leave when he's done talking.